I tell people I started off as a Democrat. I guess every black did. I grew to understand that Republican. Yeah, and I grew to understand that the true nature of my calling is to be an independent. I need to support the people who are supporting what I consider to be God's position on things. So that's kind of how I ended up as an independent. So that's good to know. I appreciate you. I love you. I know that you should have gotten a raise for all the work. Every time I tried to call you, you was out in the street handing out flyers. So you're dedicated. There's no question.
The only raise I got was when I raised my hand to volunteer.
Right. Oh, did I tell you that it is official? We are, in fact, doing the non-denominational interfaith Get Out the Vote rally September 19th in Framingham. So
okay, and I will make it a point to be there.
Well, I need to get together with you because I don't know. It's independent and interfaith. So the goal for me is to have people speaking who are going to stick to the topic, saying get out and vote. Whatever your concept is, whoever you support, get out and vote.
But I will tell you this. It would be very difficult for me to ever go to Republican State Committee convention again. Woo, Lord have mercy. If I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say the pastor's gonna have to pray for me and lay some oil and do the whole bottle. Because the way I was treated there, woo, Lord. I was glad to come back to racist Boston.
Well, I'll tell you what. I spent the weekend in Nashville, in Clarksville, Tennessee. Nashville, the 30 miles south of, 47 miles south of Nashville, or north of Nashville, or wherever. I know I drove a long time to get there. And when you get down there, you learn a couple of things real fast. People talk. They speak to you. They're polite. They say hi. Everybody was friendly. Even people that didn't agree with me or wouldn't agree with me, still friendly. When on the plane, as we were in the airport, in the line, coming back to Boston, you could see the surliness, the attitudes, the nastiness. That's a good way of putting it.
Pardon? It's right in the atmosphere. It's right in Logan, like demons.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I know. You go down south, you say hello to somebody, they speak to you, you come back, and you're like, when they speak to you, you feel odd. It's like, you know me? Because you're not used to the hospitality.
But you're both up north, and you both have to deal with the northern ways, right? You got to plow your way through some of this craziness.
Can we finish our broadcast?
Yeah. How did you two take over my broadcast? What's going on there?
We were talking. We were having an A and B conversation on your broadcast. I just want to get you back for what you did.
Hey, listen. How did we go from Michelle Wu to being? Where did you just come from, Pastor Walker?
I just came from Clarksville, Tennessee.
How did we go from Michelle Wu how did I let him go take us to Tennessee? What's going on here? And then you two.
What I'm trying to point out I want people to understand that Massachusetts, Boston claims to be the hub of the universe. If Boston's the hub of the universe, it is a surly universe.
No, Boston says it's the education mecca of America. That's what it says.
Well, the piece is this, Dan, and I'll say this, because I found out, I know who one of the things, I guess I'm proud of because it was a confidence. I was able to activate and organize. I've never done this before, but I did it with the Republican Party. I organized wards in Black Boston. And I mean, when you organize in Republicans in Boston, it ain't like knocking on every door. You got to go from, when I did my door knocking in list, it was like, I'll get one on like I ain't going to say names. I ain't going to tell people who's who, because they hide. I found them, though. I got the list of the Republicans. You can do one at Dudley. No, there wasn't none in Dudley. You can do one in Mattapan, right?
Yeah.
And then in Mattapan Square, near North Hardwood. And then in the same area, you got to find another one way over in Lower Mills or not even Lower Mills, Ashland. So I mean, so it ain't no such thing as walk. You got to drive to like your list. Like you can get walk lists for the Democrats, like there's so many Democrats.
I know.
Yeah,
let me say this before I have to go.
And one other thing, I just want to say this, and in closing, we are not monolithic. Period.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's the key. Well, I noticed while I was down, I specifically looked for signs at, Democrat, Republican, Biden, Trump signs. I didn't really see a lot of, actually I didn't see one Biden sign, not one, in my travels. I did see a plethora of American flags everywhere. I don't know what it means, but not one sign for Biden, a few signs for Trump. A lot of them said, yeah. One of them said, voting for Trump, now what?
Wow.
I thought that was interesting.
This, so that you know, Dan, Dunk the Vote is expanding nationally. We got managers in Arkansas, which is red. We also have in Ohio, which is, it can go either way.
Ohio's in play, as they put it, as they say.
Ohio, yep, that's a battleground, as well as North Carolina. And we're starting to announce the different managers. I'm just, getting the resources to be able to, take care of their needs and tailor to their particular state. So it's Ohio, Arkansas, North Carolina, Florida, California, and who's the other one? It's three more. We're looking to do.
I'm going to get off because we're coming to I'm going to get off.
Well, before you go, Pastor Dan, before you go, I have to ask you a question. Pastor Dan, are you going to be working for the Republican Party in this election?
Am I going to be working for the Republican Party? No.
Are you going to be working for Donald Trump in this election?
Working for?
Are you
supporting? Yes.
You are going to be supporting. And Ron Bell, who are you going to be working for? Anyone in particular?
Dunk the Vote.
You're going to work for Dunk. So you're basically just going to be registering people.
And I'm going to work for Boston Black News and Boston Praise Radio and TV.
That's my allegiance right there. In terms of working for Trump, because I've never been political at that level, I don't know how to work for any particular candidate. So I don't, so that for me is one thing. But I believe that my Get Out the Vote rally is a way to be a blessing to the community and to let people know that you've got to vote. The only way you count is that if you vote, period.
Well, I'm going to be having training with the different directors, whether it be Wisconsin, that's the other place I was going to say, Wisconsin and Atlanta and Philadelphia. Philadelphia is up for grade because Pennsylvania has a lot of Trump supporters, and my contacts down there tell me it's Trump town. And so I know that Biden is leading in a lot of the battleground states by very few points, and particularly Wisconsin when the brother was murdered at. But and I'm definitely going down there. I definitely, because I have a lot of organizers down there. But I will help you as far as GOTV, but I will not help you with that, whatever you call it, in the White House.
Okay, well, and that's fine, because I don't want you to help me with that. I truly believe, as I've said numerous times, that the ultimate decision maker, the ultimate person who's going to either support or tell her he's had enough is God. So I'm just going to my vote or my concept is to get out the vote. I want people to come out. I want everybody to be empowered. I don't think if you don't vote, then you can't talk. You got to keep your mouth shut.
You know what I like about this conversation this morning, and I'm going to let you both go, is here you have Pastor Dan Walker. He's coming on in a few minutes here on Boston Praise Radio and TV. His broadcast will also appear on Boston Black News. And you have Ron Bell, who is also on the line, and his broadcast is called it's a Dunk the Vote broadcast with a little slice of Boston Black News every Friday. So both of these gentlemen who just co-opted and took over my broadcast actually broadcast there on Boston Praise Radio and TV. They have a good broadcast, and it is a broadcast that has a tremendous amount of information. So we want you to listen to them, and I can't wait until Pastor Dan Walker comes on this morning because he has a lot of people who follows his ideology or his thinking, the way that he thinks, thinks.
It's interesting you say that because last night there were some people who were trying to get in on. They knew I was going to be on the air.
Yes.
And what they did, they said, "Ron, I apologize, but I was watching you on another station. While I was calling you, I was like, wait a second. You know you're on two stations. I was on Milton Access with Brandy Fluka, Oakley, and then I was in Boston Praise Radio because they both were at the same time. I'm normally not in the studio. I was there for Priscilla Flynn Banks at 6 o'clock because my Milton Access TV Super Tuesday broadcast I run on Tuesday night. So he was like, man, how in the heck are you on Milton at 6 o'clock and you're in Boston Praise Radio, TV, and Black News Civic Engagement Hour at the same time?
Isn't it amazing? You are so popular.
God is miraculous.
You are so popular right now.
I think that
I don't know about that.
He is to be. Well, I think that Brother Ron Bell is to be commended because he's putting his money, his time, his effort, his shoe leather where his mouth is. He believes what he believes, and he's going out and he's working for it. And we need people who are dedicated. We need people who have a position and are not afraid to stand and say, "This is where I stand." Like it, lump it. That's your decision. But I'm not. But I'm working for what I believe. What are you doing? So
that is really nice coming from a Republican.
Well, I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent. I'm a registered independent.
Independent with Republican views.
Well, I have what's considered a conservative view. That at this point in time tends to lend itself to the Republican Party because of the positions that the Democratic Party have taken over the last 10, 15 years, with the hijacking of the party, with supporting things that, as a born-again Christian and as a pastor, I can't support because they so these are some of the reasons that I find myself in the quote-unquote Republican camp right now.
Well, all I can say is, I'm going to let you both go. All I can say is, Ron, I did receive a text from you, and we can discuss it a little bit later. So I read it.
That's good news.
And I said, whoa, when I saw the text. Okay, guys, I got to let you go because the engineer is coming in for the next broadcast. He's pushing me out. The engineer is telling me to get out of my studio so that they can gear up for Pastor Walker.
Having a real good morning.
There's no respect. They take over you guys have taken over my broadcast. The engineer is now taking over my seat. Okay, guys, see you later. We'll do this again.
Don't ride the bike again. This is what happens when you ride a bike when you're out of shape. Good night. Good morning. Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good morning.
Bye-bye. This is Pastor Bruce Wall, and you're listening to Morning Inspiration on the Boston Praise Radio and TV Network. Coming up will be at 8 o'clock, Pastor Dan Walker with Sound is Going to Travel. We will continue. We'll continue in just a few moments here on Boston Praise Radio and TV. Stay there. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back on Boston Praise.